Red back, bow down, kneel for Alpha. Red back, bow down, kneel for Alpha. Come on now. Now y'all know me being an alpha, the way I went up for them lesbian ass, truck driving ass, dark skin, bald headed, shade on the side, low fade, having high top fade, low left, high right, having ass deltas. Y'all know the way I went up for them deltas, I gotta show up for the AKAs. 20 pearls, 20 pearls, 20 pearls for pretty girls. My favorite AKA chant, baby, was that red back, bow down, kneel for Alpha. Red back, bow down, kneel for Alpha. I don't know the rest of it, but set it off, I suggest, y'all. Set it off, I suggest, y'all. Set it off. Come on now, set it off. Cat, set it off. Ow, pat, pat that pussy, pat. Then listen, y'all can say whatever y'all want to say about the case. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to say about the case. But y'all ain't gonna sit up here and pretend like bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Y'all ain't gonna pretend like that ain't it right there. Y'all ain't bam, 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 bam. Bam, bam, bam. Pussy, bitch. I'm gonna tell y'all one thing about all the sororities. The AKAs is the most pussy, bitch. That fishy, bitch. Real fishy. It ain't a bitch as fishy alive as an AKA. Okay, let me tell y'all something. When it comes to them deltas is truckers, they dark skinned, bald headed, hair ain't never grown since they've been in the third grade ass, masculine ass, basketball scholarship to college ass, Angel Reese ass lesbians. That's what the deltas is. The K's, fishy, bitch, fishy. Bitch, y'all can set it off, I suggest. This is so pussy. This right here, fishy, bitch. And then this right here, pat. Shouts out to all the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, honey. I got to go up for the K's. Me being an alpha, I got to set it off, I suggest. And we going to set it off. Ooh, the bald-headed deltas real mad. The K's. Get their ass together. The deltas, baby, the deltas in the chat coming for y'all. Deltas, you bald-headed ass niggas. Let me tell y'all something. When I was going up for y'all, the K's kept it cute and they was classy. Now all of a sudden, them deltas, they want to walk like an elephant, stomp just like an elephant. Girl, them National Geographic assholes, AKAs, get their ass together. Them old manly ass National Geographic elephants, they in the chat, they real mad. Don't be mad because y'all masculine. You gotta walk like an elephant, talk just like an elephant. Baby, it ain't nothing pussy, bitch, about no goddamn elephant, okay? The K said, set it off, I suggest, y'all. Set it off, I suggest, y'all. Set it off. Let me tell y'all one thing about it. Two things for sure and three things for certain. Them AKAs, they not no hard-working bitches. They not going to do no manual labor. They not going to help you win no campaign on campus. They not going to get out there and do no grassroots work. But the AKAs, honey, they going to serve fish. Come on, Anthony T. We got on the same shirt. I got this from Levi from Macy's. The K's, they ain't gonna get out there and work hard. They ain't gonna sweat. They not gonna be musty. But them AKAs gonna serve you beauty. They gonna serve you brains, and they gonna serve you fish, bitch. Fishy, bitch. Just real fishy. Pat. Y'all, listen. Y'all can't get into it. Y'all cannot get into them K's with that. Pat. It's something about that. Yeah. 06, 08, the rest is just too late. 06, 08, the rest is just too late. Shouts out to all the AKAs and they envious ass daughters. I know them old manly ass deltas did not think that I wasn't finna go up for my sisters. I know y'all manly ass niggas didn't think I wasn't finna go up for the K's. I know y'all didn't think I wasn't finna go up for the K's. Happy Founders Day to all the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Somebody put he was out with Heavenly and Tamar tonight. How did y'all know that? Did somebody post it? Did somebody post that? So I actually am just getting home. I had to rush home from the nail salon. We were in Buckhead. As somebody said, I'm not on a gummy. I'm on a little bit of liquor. Quad texted me at about 3:34, at about 2:30. Quad texted me. I went and met her, Heavenly, and Alora up at Nobu. And then Tamar met us up there. And Vince happened to be at the end of the restaurant having a meeting with some other people. He wasn't with us. Listen, I'm about 3 margaritas. 1 margarita, I'm gonna put it in my bush. 2 margaritas, I'm gonna put it in my tush. 3 margaritas, hey. I'm about 3 margaritas in. We had an amazing time. Me, Heavenly, Quad. Alora came at 8 and she left early. And this is why I don't like going out to lunch with them hoes, because went out to lunch. Thank you so much, Jay. Thank you. Because you know what? It hasn't always been this way. I ain't gonna lie. I got finer with age, because when I was younger, the girls and the people used to call me ugly, and I used to believe it. But I'm setting it off. I suggest on the side, pat. Yes. We went out to Nobu and ate or whatever. And then after we ate, instead of going home, I wanted to come home and prep for the show. And Tamar asked, can't never go home. And she was like, do y'all want to go to my favorite nail salon in Buckhead? They serve Hennessy. They do Hennessy pedicures. They got hookah and drinks. And so me, Quad, Tamar, and 2 of Tamar homeboys, we went to the nail salon in Buckhead, and I got a milk and honey pedicure. Now, let me tell you about these Asian hoes, because they tricking y'all. Y'all letting them Asian hoes trick y'all. So I was like, I didn't really need nothing done. I get a pedicure maybe once a year, twice a year. But I said this year that I was going to start being more consistent with like taking care of my grooming with my feet and stuff. We get to the pedicure place and Tamar wanted us all to come. I did see Tamar pull out her card to pay for all of us, but I'm always pay my way and I'm pay what I weigh. Baby, I should have just let Tamar get it, because the lady gave me a milk and honey pedicure, did my legs. She brought me a quad hookah. Quad stuff was already done. So she just sat next to us and got a calf massage and let the thing, what they say, the delta's ready to cue them. Delta's ready to bam on your front door, baby. Somebody bammed on it yesterday and I almost died in this bitch, and we're going to talk about it. But anyway, Quad just sat next to us while we talked and caught up. And I said, I don't got pedicures before, and a pedicure can't be no more than $50, $60, $75 tops. Baby, let me tell y'all something. Karate Kid mama brought me that check. That pedicure was $100. Now, mind you, You ran that hot water. The water was so damn hot, it damn near burnt the skin off my feet. And then she poured that water on it. I got a video. I just didn't post it because I'd be like, when me and my friends be together, it be private time and everything is not for social media. But I got a video of her pouring that milk. And I asked her, I said, baby, first of all, what grade milk is this? Is this whole milk? Is it half and half? Is it French vanilla coffee creamer? Is it used milk? Is it expired milk? Whatever. She poured it all in there on my feet. But let me tell you something. Whatever the hell it wasn't $100 worth of milk. I will not be taking my ass back there. And mind you, Quad didn't have no cash to pay her valet, and I had $100 bill on me, so I gave the valet the 100 to pay her valet. He gave me back $80, whatever. So I gave the lady who did me, I gave her a $40 tip off rip before the lady came and brought me my receipt. I just knew my receipt was gonna be $55, $65, $70 best. That lady brought me a $100 bill receipt. I just paid it and left. I won't be back. Now, I did let her put some clear polish on my toes or whatever, but girl, that shouldn't have been $30 damn dollars. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a good goddamn what it was. There is, and please, let's not get it twisted. They did an amazing job on Myra's feet. You know, you got to go to work on Myra's feet. They did an amazing job on my feet. But there is no way in hell, I don't give a good goddamn how much milk they poured in there. Oh, you know what? Now that I think, I ordered a hookah. So they probably put the hookah for all my black women that go to the salon. Is the hookahs free, or did they probably charge me for the hookah? That's what it was. All right, I ain't gonna give them too many times. They said Myra was married 4 times. Child, I saw her on that comedy thing. Myra looked good but old at the same time. It was a milk. Oh, I'm sorry. It was a milk and honey pedicure because they rolled my Levi's dad jeans up to my knees and she poured all that sticky honey all over my calves. So she was beating it with a stick and rolling it or whatever. So the pedicure probably was $60, $75 plus the hookah. I ain't gonna trip, but I ain't going back no more, baby. I got some of that cheap ass honey bear honey up in there, and I got my own file. I could have abused my own feet and poured honey. And matter of fact, that's what I'm gonna start doing with my old milk. When my milk get old, shut your goddamn mouth. I'm in here. Nah. I could have poured my own milk on my damn feet, and them mimosas wasn't hitting on shit. If you really want to know the truth about it, the shit don't gave me a damn headache. Nevertheless, I was with them hoes down to the pedicure place in Buckhead. Let me tell y'all something before we get the show started. Why it's 5,700 of y'all in the chat. I could have lost my life last night. I could have lost my life last night. I went back and looked at the comments. I'm looking at the comments now, and all of y'all are laughing at the fact that I said I got my piece last night. Baby, I didn't know what to tell them niggas. I didn't know what to tell them niggas because I thought I was going to die in here on live. And I'm going to tell you something. When it's time for me to die, I want to die like this and not like this. I want to die with style and grace and a whole lot of class. I don't want to die on live. And these dogs is so ghetto. And I try my hardest. Caesar Milan and the people said, do not put the dogs in the crate as a punishment. Now, I live in a rich white Caucasian neighborhood, and I live on a dead-end street. I'm the second house to the last. There is nothing they could possibly be over there barking at. They could possibly be over there barking. And if I call them in this room, it's going to be a whole other situation. Nevertheless, I feel some type of way Because if I would have died, I would have needed y'all to call the police to Atlanta. I said I got my piece, and y'all laughing. I am sorry. I didn't grow up in the ghetto like y'all. I didn't grow up in the hood. I ain't never had my dough kicked in. I am sorry that Tyler Perry never sent me the script. Okay. I don't know what I'm supposed to say when somebody breaks into my house. I said the first thing that came to mind when I looked at this desk and I had a drawer down here, I said, I got my piece. Girl, the people got in the comments and said, Funky not even, you not never supposed to tell the people you got a piece. You ain't never supposed to say nothing because the people know where you at. I didn't grow up progetic and violent like y'all. I thought maybe if I told the people I had my piece, they would walk around and not disturb my peace and go home. This is what I get for getting a TV from a ninja off a truck. Moving forward, I will not be purchasing any more hot, stolen, commandeered, or gift card goods. I'm not even a Vizio kind of bitch, okay? But because it was a good price, I got it. Moving forward, I am only getting Samsung, Sony, Toshiba, and Panasonic TVs. I ain't never heard of no TV that update by itself and start singing nature noises. Y'all are laughing because I didn't want to be embarrassed down to the world star hip hop. Y'all don't understand how much I went out my way to hold it together yesterday. I was scared boots. Okay. I was scared boots. I thought somebody was in here. And the reason why I said hello like a rich white woman, because I was just going to tell them where all my stuff was located. You don't have to kick my door down. You don't have to get violent. I'm going to tell you, use my Versace house coat robe, tie me up, and comfortably put me over here in the corner. You got shoes in here. Jewelry is in the other room. Cologne, fine dining, fine china, all types of designer suits. I was going to instruct them people where that stuff was. Leave me with my life, sir. Leave me with my life. I got my piece. I just want a piece of life. Okay, baby, I was in here scared boots. Last but not least, I actually did my Married to Medicine review for all of the people who subscribe to Patreon. The video was done. Actually, it was uploading when I went to meet Quad them, and I was going to upload it, put the link into Patreon for y'all, and cut the clip while I was out. I started drinking. I didn't. The Married to Medicine video is done, and it'll be ready for y'all tomorrow. But here's the gag. Everybody wants to talk about Phaedra and that Met Gala. And at the very end of it, they did not raise the $100,000, and they were like, we $46,000 short. And Phaedra was like, I got it. I got it. I didn't know if I got it meant she was going to go out and raise the money or if she was going to cut the check. And now listen, this is fresh off the press. And I said it in my review video. I said, I wonder if when we get to the reunion, we're going to find out Phaedra didn't cut that check. Multiple things happened. The first thing is that man that bought Phaedra for $4,000, they said at the end of the night, that man wanted his money back. That he was just doing it. They said Phaedra leaned over, whispered in his ear and said, just go along with it. They said at the end of the show, at the end of the night, that man wanted his money back. And it got so bad that the following days, he was calling everybody, including Dr. Damon, and wanted his money back. And people are only assuming that he had to be calling Phaedra and she wasn't answering for him to be going around calling everybody and wanting his money back. The second thing that I wanted to know was, did Phaedra really write that check for $46,000? And I'm here to give y'all the tea. Phaedra did write a check. It wasn't for $46,000. While we were at Nobu tonight, Heavenly and Quad both shared with me that after the ladies tallied up the money and they went back out, that they did raise additional monies, and they said Phaedra ultimately ended up cutting a check in the 35,000 ish ballpark. However, they said that it took almost a month and some change to collect that check, and that the man who they gave the check to, the man over the nonprofit, they said that that man was calling everybody trying to get the money, trying to find out where the money was, because they put that man on TV and gave him that big old paper check. And they said it took that man over a month to get his money. And then they said Phaedra talked a lot of SHIT and had an attitude when she had to write that check. That's the tea, fresh off the press. I got the check. I got the information from Heavenly and Quad. Now I'm going to tell y'all something, and I'm going to tell y'all what I told Heavenly and Quad at the table. I told them Phaedra is a better woman than I ever be, because I don't give a damn what I would have said on that TV. I would have said it just for us to close out the scene, but there is no way in hell I would have let y'all bitches pressure me into writing a $35,000 check or more. There is no way in hell I would have let y'all pressure me. Now, where Phaedra went wrong, she's like Karen Huger, the Grand Dame, so worried about her image that she wrote it. I wouldn't have never let y'all hoes. I literally would have looked at y'all and been like, oh, that was for TV. I would have been like, that's for TV, and the best I could give y'all is 5,500. I'd have been like, that was for TV, and the best I could give y'all is 5,500 when it comes to that Met Gala. That's what I would have did. Also, y'all, later on this evening, we're going to have Nikki High of Octavia's Bookstore. She's from Altadena, and she's going to talk to us about everything that's going on in Altadena with those fires. But before she logs on, let's go ahead and get into some of these stories. Now, for the cheap girls, one time for the cheap girls. Now, this is not the Spirit Airlines girls, but this for Spirit cousin. This is for the Southwest girls. Southwest Airlines has gotten sued by Southwest Airlines for over 2 chronically delayed flight routes. And let me tell you what's going on. Airlines have a legal obligation to ensure that their flight schedule provides travelers with realistic departure and arrival times. Today's action sends a message to all airlines that the department is prepared to go to court. Since DOT issued its chronically delayed flight policy in 2009, Southwest has operated more than 20 million flights with no other CDF violations. And they claim that these 2 flights represent unrealistic schedule and is simply not credible with our performance across 15 years. And if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, the lawsuit was filed in the U.S. District Court of Northern District, California on Wednesday, seeking maximum civil penalties. It alleges that Southwest is harming passengers and fair competition across the industry. And it says the 2 chronically delayed flights, one is between Chicago and Oakland, and California and Baltimore and Cleveland. In addition, 180 disruptions occurred between April and August of 2022. In short, guys, Southwest Airline was misrepresenting their ability to get people to those destinations on time, and they were sued by the Department of Transportation. Somebody said, don't do too much to Southwest. Glory Grip said, don't do too much. Listen, she said, don't do too much. Nevertheless, this is what our Better Business Bureau and all of our government regulation agencies are there and supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be there to protect the consumer. And listen, I've never flown Southwest, you know, because I'm rich like this and not like this, and I ain't got no taco meat, and I got a big dick. Nevertheless, this is what they are supposed to do, and I am not mad with them at all. What somebody said about a South Sea Alpha? I want you to go up for them sassy alphas. Hey, Cheryl. Cheryl, I want you to go up for the fact that you look like a nigga. How was that for sassy? You look like you could be an iota. Cheryl. Cheryl, you giving real Phi Beta Sigma on the left hand side and iota on the right. How is that for sassy? I might be sassy, but you real masculine, bitch. All in the face. Cheryl, set it off. I suggest. Y'all, set it off. I suggest. How is that for sassy, nigga? I am seeing something new in the chat that I did not know. Everybody's saying Wendy Williams is going to be on the Breakfast Club tomorrow. I haven't seen it. Y'all are putting it in the chat. That is going to be amazing. And we, as the consumer and the fans, will be able to see for ourselves if Wendy is really incapacitated. And it goes without saying that this had to come about as a result of her phone call to Charlemagne over the weekends. You know what? I got some other stories, but they heavy. I'm gonna roll them over to tomorrow because we got enough heaviness and I'm in a good groove. The FDA bans red dye number 3 from food and drinks and ingested drugs in the US. The Food and Drug Administration announced today that it's banning red number 3, which is a synthetic dye which gives your food and beverages that bright red cherry color. The agency had been reviewing the petition to ban the dye since 2022. According to Yahoo News, the manufacturers use dye number 3, also known as FD&C red number 3, in their food. They have into January 15th to reformulate it. Now they're saying that it needs to be new standards. Now, some people saying no more candy apples, and the article doesn't say why this dye is bad, but we all know it's can't. Listen, here's the thing about the United States of America. I'm gonna be very honest with y'all. If you live in the United States of America, you might as well sniff markers, eat whiteout, shoot heroin, do cocaine, smoke fentanyl, because we go out of our way to try to practice healthy habits. But our FDA allows anybody with money to pass any type of drug, and it all has cancer in it. When you go to other countries, for those of us who've traveled abroad, it's been banned in Europe for over 15 years. Subway across the globe, they can't even call their bread because they have found out that that bread has so much sugar in it that it is technically classified as cake. They call it cake. Let me see. After millions of Black children and adults have been diagnosed with all types of health issues, ADD, ADHD, bipolar, skin diseases, and cancer. And here's the gag. My favorite candy is a cherry blow pop. I love a cherry blow pop. It is my favorite candy in the whole wide world. Moving right along, guys. And Nikki, I see you down there. I got 2 more stories and I'm going to bring you in, sis. A Walgreens CEO admits that it was bad business to lock up their products to combat shoplifting. They said you don't sell nothing. You don't sell as many items. Walgreens decided to lock up products after reporting a 52% increase in stolen inventory. At the time, they thought that making customers wait for an associate to come open the doors to products was a good idea. Months later, they realized it was not the smartest decision, and I'm not going to waste my time reading the rest of that article. For any of you guys who have followed me on Instagram, y'all have seen the times that I've stopped at Walgreens, CVS, or anything of the like, and have gone off because I might have left my house without putting deodorant on, and I feel myself sweating under my arms, and I swing by Walgreens, and it take me 30 minutes to get some degree clinical out of doggone show. And it's weird, right? Because I can understand any business wanting to be or deter theft. I completely understand any business wanting to deter theft. But quiet as it's kept, I think the answer might have been to hire more security and hire more workers, because you make it difficult for people who are rich like this and not like this, baby. Y'all have seen me on my Instagram how many times I have walked out of a store. And here's the other thing. I get it. I want anybody to protect their business. But if you are going to lock up the goods, when I press that button for somebody to come, I need somebody to appear within 3 minutes. Okay. Y'all will have the whole Walgreens stocked with one cashier, one pharmacy aide, one bitch on the floor, and she'll hear that thing ring to come open the cologne and be like, I don't got the key and that's not my department. And we have to wait for the cashier who got 15 people in line to come open the thing. It's just not right. And so now that they're closing all those doggone stores, they realize that it might not have been the smartest idea. No duh. Moving right along. Riot in Rio. Can y'all please stop embarrassing me down to my work job? Forgive me, y'all. Just ghetto. So Cynthia Bailey, she says she regrets taking Ozempic. Riot in Rio, come. Come. She says she regrets taking Ozempic and reveals that it didn't make her feel good. Listen, I always been fine, baby. I didn't have to take none of the semi-glutide. I didn't have to go to the compound pharmacy. I didn't need no Mounjaro. I didn't need none of it. She said she stopped taking it, but I bet that bitch stopped taking it after it made her feel good, after she lost that weight. She said the medication wasn't for her. She tried it for a month. Honestly, it didn't work. I still like food, and I found I just had no interest in food. Shouts out to everybody using it. Listen, Candy said she wasn't using it, that she used hydroxycut. But I'm going to tell y'all something. I know Candy good enough to know that she threw that out there to get a deal. And before we knew it, Candy had a whole deal with hydroxycut. Now, this next story is going to be a great segue into my guest, Nikki. You're coming up after this story. And preliminarily, Nikki, point your camera down just a little bit. You got too much room above your head. Perfect. This next story is going to segue us into the tail end of our show, which is what's going on out there in California and Altadena. A lot of people are upset because Little Kim had something to say, and she said, sending strong prayers up for LA and everyone affected by the fires. This is heartbreaking. I pray to Jesus that God make it monsoon in LA. And people are mad because they're like, girl, you want to switch out one natural disaster for another. Listen to me clearly, daughters. We know that Little Kim was not the smartest, most literate person in the world. Biggie was writing all her stuff, okay? And it's about intent versus impact. Little Kim did not mean no harm. She simply meant we need a whole lot of water. She simply meant we need a whole lot of water to come put the fires out, y'all. So charge it to her head and not to her heart. Somebody said ending one natural disaster with another is crazy. She said, I get what she was trying to say, but it was wild. Cali is going through one of the worst droughts that's ever recorded in American history. You think they're going to get a monsoon? Y'all, look, Kim don't know no better, y'all. She charge it to her head and not to her heart. And with that being said, if we're going to talk about the fires in LA, and if we are going to talk about Altadena, then I found it prudent that I brought someone on who was a resident of Altadena. Take me off the mute, Nikki. She goes by the name of Nikki High from Octavia's Bookshelf or Bookstore? Bookshelf. And I'm going to tell y'all something. I was laying in my bed, minding my business, as I always do. And Amanda Seals reached out to me and she was like, Q, I got a sister. I think you need to have her on your show. And I said, I'm going to have it. So without further ado, guys, welcome Nikki High to the show. What's going on, Nikki?
Hello. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you so much for coming and helping to spread awareness. Because listen, as somebody who is in Atlanta, I'm going to be very honest with you. With the current news coverage, I think most of America is not truly aware of what is it Altadena or Altadena?
Altadena.
Altadena.
Hmm.
I'm gonna be very honest with you. I've never heard of Altadena until last week, until these fires happened. And I don't think a lot of people truly grasp the significance to the African American community of Altadena. So, Nikki, before we jump into our conversation, let's tell the people a little bit about who you are and just give us a little synopsis of what the hell a Altadena is.
Yes. So I'm Nikki High. I own Pasadena's only Black-owned bookstore. We've been open just a little bit shy of 2 years. I named the store in honor of my favorite author and Pasadenian, Octavia E. Butler. I read Kindred like in '88, and I just became obsessed with her. And I would always ask people, like, have you read this book by Octavia Butler? Nobody knew who she was. And so I just wanted to honor her legacy. She was born and raised in Pasadena and Altadena. So the bookstore prioritizes books written by Black, Indigenous, and people of color, heavy on the B, heavy on the Black. And it's just a space that I wish that I had access to when I was growing up in the area. And it didn't come about. And so at some point I was like, I'm just going to try it. And I've had a ton of community support. Altadena. So most people are familiar with Pasadena. Whenever people ask me, like, where are you from? I just say Pasadena
Because
because
it's easier, right?
it's easy, because then I don't have to explain, like, oh, it's Altadena. It's north, it sits on the foothills of the San Gabriel Mountains just above Pasadena. But that's what it is. So a lot of people have never heard of Altadena, and throughout the coverage, at least what I've been seeing, there's a lot of talk about the Palisades and Malibu. And Altadena has actually had more deaths confirmed. We're sitting at 11 confirmed right now. Search and rescue is not done. And there is this other sense that, you see, what's her name? Like Paris Hilton, like, oh, I lost my house. And people are assuming that these fires, the Eaton fire, is similar, and it's not. Altadena is a historically Black community. In fact, 82% of all Black people that live in Altadena own their homes. That's twice the national average.
82%. Wow.
8 in every 10 residents owns
Their home.
It's 58% people of color. Black folks sit at about 18%. So it was a predominantly white city for a long time. And Black and brown people were, historically not allowed to purchase homes in that area due to redlining. Once those laws sort of became unenforceable during the civil rights era, and the 210 freeway came, white people just headed out. And so then we were able to buy land and homes. And these homes have been passed down for multiple generations. And so when you see these stories on the news, someone says, like, oh, they live in $1 million house or $2 million house. Well, in Los Angeles County, that's like not
right. That's everybody lives in $1 million house.
But what it does is it represents generational prosperity for us. These are homes that our grandparents, great grandparents purchased for $35,000, $40,000 in the 50s. And it's been passed down from generation to generation to allow for some sort of prosperity, within the Black community. There were a ton of legendary Black businesses, small businesses. It's just a beautiful, quaint little mountain town. And it has largely been decimated.
Wow. So, Octavia, just for clarity, from a media perspective, we know about Watts, we know about Crenshaw. Is Altadena the hood? Is it middle class? Is it upper class? What's Altadena giving?
It's giving very, very middle class.
Okay.
But we do have a hood.
Of course,
Everybody does.
everybody has a hood. Off the top of your head, and I know you're not an actuary, what would you say the average home is valued at in Altadena on average?
I would say about 800 to 1 million.
And that is a lot of money. You know, it's weird because, like you said, I think because Malibu, the Palisades, those places are celebrity driven, that they are getting a lot of attention. Now, we've heard that insurance companies canceled a lot of insurance policies. I think somebody said State Farm, don't quote me, 62,000 policies.
Mm-hmm.
Were Altadena residents impacted by that huge sweep of cancellations?
Yes, many of them were impacted by that. And in fact, I've talked to some neighbors and other residents that said they had appointments scheduled within the next couple of weeks from the insurance company, that the insurance company made like last month, saying we want to review your property. We want to take a look at it. We'll be out there January 20th or what have you. So in that case, some of those folks were really lucky because the insurance company didn't have a chance to come out.
Cancel them.
But yeah, they did cancel a lot of insurance or fire insurance for some of those homes. And so that is adding additional layers to the complexity of this, right? Like you don't have any money to rebuild. So then predatory land developers are already sending text messages, they're calling, and we're just banding together to say that Altadena is not for sale.
You know, and it's unfortunate because I shared on this show yesterday and the night before, there is that person out there that had that paid off home, who was on a fixed income, who now has nothing. And unfortunately, when these people come in and offer them a couple $100,000 because of their circumstance, they are going to have no choice but to take and sell, so what, you're on the ground. What's going on in Altadena right now? Like, what's the energy? What's the government involvement? What's the investor involvement? What is the community? How are people feeling? Where are they staying? What's going on right now in Altadena?
So there is a lot of camaraderie here right now. So many Altadenians, Pasadenians, and our immediate communities are coming together to help. So there's a lot of love being shared. Altadena is inaccessible and almost non-recognizable. And so there's a lot of heaviness on our hearts. Octavia's Bookshelf, my store, is in Pasadena. And so like if you're not from the area, you won't even, like if you're in Pasadena, you don't even know when you've crossed into Altadena unless you live here. It's one of those. So like my store is like right on the border. And so on the ground here, what I've been doing since the day after the fires is I've taken all the books off of my bookshelf for sale, and through community donations, I am just having it open as a free marketplace for people to come in and get supplies. So what I'm focusing on is, diapers, baby wipes, food, toiletries, blankets. I'm getting a donation of air purifiers this weekend that I'll be able to really prioritize people with immune compromised systems, asthma, etc. Because I am deeply concerned about that. I didn't take part, but I watched a meeting yesterday with the city, and there was some talk about some of the air had been tested already, and it's showing levels of arsenic, lead, asbestos, because a lot of these houses are old, right? So when they burn down, the asbestos and lead is just in the air. So the air is really toxic, even though today it looks absolutely stunning. The sky is blue. And we're just encouraging people to still wear masks when you're outside, because even though it looks really pretty, it is not
still dirty. Yeah. So listen, this is a pop culture and entertainment driven show. And so I do have a trivial question.
Okay.
Drea from Basketball Wives came under a lot of heat because whatever company she teamed up with, she's doing a promotion as an influencer for air purifiers. And if you used her link, you got $200 off of the air purifier. Um, as someone on the ground who's been impacted by this, are people offended by gestures like that, or are they welcome to the fact that there's some advertisement about the availability of air purifiers? What's your take on it?
My take is there's a lot of money in Los Angeles, and anything at a discounted rate is not acceptable to me. We have enough money to give
The people
these
with
people
any
what they need. And
Mhm.
so it feels a lot cringe
Exploitive? Yeah, yeah,
personally. If
yeah.
you were here to see 85-year-old elders, our Black elders who come in the store, they're so proud, say, "Sugar, I don't like to ask for nothing." And I'm like, "You're not asking, I'm giving it to you." And having people just sort of walk around and just try to figure out what they are going to do for the night, like getting enough toilet paper or toothbrushes or what have you. And so it feels deeply insulting,
To do something like
in
that.
that regards. Yeah.
Nikki, where are people currently residing? Because when you say to me that an entire community has been destroyed, obviously there's not enough hotels within a
Yeah.
20-mile radius. Where are people staying right now?
Yeah. I mean, like me personally, my husband and I are in an Airbnb in Monrovia, which is like a couple of cities over.
Did you lose your home?
So there is an aerial map that shows that my house is still standing. There's not much around it. I think there's about 7 houses on my street of like 250 homes.
Mhm.
And so there's some significant damage to the roof from the wind. Um,
Okay.
and then there's a lot of smoke damage in the house.
So have you been able to get to your house, or have you been able to
So
get to it?
that leads me to another thing. I was able
Okay.
to get to the house the following day
Mhm.
and, sort of take a look and I mean, things were still on fire, right?
Okay.
My street was like literally still on fire. So we're looking at the house and, um, subsequent attempts to get home have been thwarted by the National Guard, which is now
Mhm.
deployed. And it's very jarring for me, for Black Americans, to see such a heavy military presence. People walking around with the AR-15. It just it adds another layer of trauma.
Yeah.
And so I have not physically laid eyes on my home
Mhm.
since Wednesday. But I know that I have people that I know, and customers and whatnot, who are as far out as Ontario. There's some folks in San Diego. I mean, we're everywhere right now.
What, from your vantage point, is the government doing right now? Give it to us. Give it to us, Nikki. Well, I mean, like, what do you see? Like,
I mean, like, I don't know what we're gonna do after what's his name is sworn in. Like, so if there's any federal money to be given, like, we need it right now,
yeah.
because he hates California, and Altadena being a historically Black community
Mm,
is probably
right.
gonna, you know,
I'm
um,
concerned too. Yeah.
I mean, I've applied for FEMA. I was instantly denied for housing assistance. I just finished an appeal. I'm paying for Airbnb out of pocket because there's just nowhere else to go. We went to a hotel for a couple of nights, but then it was overbooked and we had to check out. And so I have I have not received personally, nor the people that I know are receiving federal help. The city of Pasadena has been incredible in this moment,
Mhm.
and I give a lot of shout outs to them. But there's something fundamentally wrong with a society that makes us GoFundMe out of crises all the time. Like,
Mhm.
there's so much money here, and we have to GoFundMe to, like, pay for our medical bills and rebuild our homes. It's it's I'm just tired.
So check your text message right now and text me what I
Okay.
just showed you.
Okay.
So I know during Hurricane Katrina, right? Like they put the people up, they opened the Superdome. Is there any type of like mass stadium housing for people right now?
Yeah. So the Pasadena Convention Center is
Okay.
now housing people. I mean, they're doing the best that they
They
can.
can
But it's
under the
deeply
circumstances.
humiliating,
Yeah,
to
it is.
be in an
Yeah.
open, dormitory style, with cots of people
Yeah.
that you don't know.
No.
But I mean, they're trying.
They're trying. So let me ask you this because a lot of people are asking in the comments, Nikki, we as people who are not impacted or affected by it, we don't so send me the thing. Ew.
No.
Can you use the at for that? I've
Yes.
never used Venmo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put your Venmo up. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, can you what can we do? People who are somewhere else,
Yeah.
what can we do to help the people
I
of
would just say to continue to keep us in prayer, continue to share and talk about Altadena. There is a list going around of individual families who have, lost everything. So there's ways to donate through GoFundMe. And that goes directly to the families who've lost everything. I want to say, too, just to give you some context of how this impacts the everyday person. I found a foster, actually a really good friend of mine who owns Reparations bookstore in South Central, found a foster for my two dogs. And when
I'm
I went,
all about the pets.
yeah, when
Yeah.
Freddie Jackson and Davion Marquise are my two dogs. And when I went to drop them off, the foster mother was like, "Oh, do you have any more of their food?" And I said, "No, they eat a special food, but the pet store burned down. So I don't have any way to get it." And then, we were talking about vaccines, and I'm like, their veterinary clinic burned down. I mean,
Yeah,
all
right.
of our stuff, like all of my business, my dentist, my doctor, everything is
Right.
in Altadena. And so you don't think about those things until something like this happens. But yeah, as far as like federal government, I could speak for me and for the people that I talk to on the ground every day. We are getting instant denials. Then we're being told um, to appeal, which is a whole nother thing.
Right.
But for
And why put people through that? Like,
yeah. I mean, and then I called Judy Chu's office and I was like, Representative Judy Chu, like, well, I got a denial. And then I was told, oh, there's a glitch in the system, just appeal it. But how many people, like, I'm not like a
don't
genius.
know that, right?
Yeah, but I do run a business, so I can kind of manage my way through stuff like this. But I'm thinking about like older people, like my mother. If she were in this situation, she
She
wouldn't
didn't
know.
know. Yeah. And a
So
lot of older people, the 80 something, they don't even know how to get on the computer and
mhm,
even do this type of stuff. And they probably get so frustrated, they throw their hands up and so
mhm,
on and so forth. Really quickly, Funky Bunch, if you guys have Venmo, we're gonna help our sister out, take care of them Airbnb fees. Her Venmo is down to the bottom,
thank
Octavia's
you.
bookshelf. The way we run up the register when people are on here selling things, sister's up here trying to take care of her family and her life. The Venmo is down to the bottom. And if you guys find it in your heart, please Venmo at Octavia's bookshelf. Um, Nikki, what can we do to aid this cause on a mass level? Is there a master GoFundMe? Is there a centralized donation? Do we give to the United Red Cross? You, as somebody on the ground, tell us where
Yeah.
we need to send our efforts to.
So I would say not the Red Cross, but there is a master list of Black families impacted by the Eaton fires, and that is probably the best thing to do, is to just scroll through, read a story if it resonates with you, whatever you have, like $5 even helps, because if a bunch of people did $5, then that, comes out to a lot of money. So I would suggest that the master list.
I have an insurance question. Of those people whose insurance policies were canceled, were a lot of those, to your knowledge, in Altadena, or were they spread out? Where were they?
Altadena, I mean, spread out. It was State
Altadena.
Farm. State Farm was the one that started
Wow.
this shit. But yeah, there were a lot of folks in Altadena who are without insurance. And then, we're talking also like people who lived in Altadena that were renting, like entire apartment buildings burned down. Like this place is completely leveled. So, I don't know. I've lived in this area for 47 years. We moved here when I was 3. And I'm 50 now. And I'm used to Santa Ana winds. I've never seen anything like this, felt anything like this. I mean, the winds were going up to 100 miles an hour. But the way that the fire spread and the quickness in which it spread, like, I don't have anything to confirm this, but it feels a lot like arson.
So it's weird because when we look on social media, they said the Kenneth fire, they had somebody in custody, and I think they said Eaton. I'm not for sure because I'm not. Really quickly, Nikki, do you have Zelle? The people are saying, do you have Zelle?
I do have Zelle.
Now, I don't want to put your phone number up here. Is there an email address or QR code? Okay, send that to me right now so I can put that in the chat. This is really, 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 really unfortunate. And what I'm hoping is that at some point, I am hoping that the government steps in and says, people who are impacted by the fires of Altadena, we're going to give you guys 40 acres and a mule. We're going to give you a low interest mortgage with no qualification barriers for you to be able to rebuild. We're going to give you free health insurance and home insurance. I mean, something. And again, to your point, and I hate the fact that this thing has been politicized, because we know that next clown that's about to get in office, he is the type that is going to penalize the residents of California simply because they didn't vote for him, or he hates Gavin Newsom and all of those things. And now is just not the time. I love Representative Maxine Waters. She was on Chris Cuomo, and Cuomo was asking her about, the politicizing the fires. And she was basically like, white boy, we don't have time for that. For anybody that's on a platform, we need to be discussing how to get these people aid, how to get these people funding. And that's where I'm at with it. Nikki, before we get out of here, is there anything else in closing that you would like to tell the Funky Bunch as it relates to this disaster?
I just want to thank you and the Funky Bunch for having me and for loving on me. I appreciate it more than I can express. I would just ask that you all keep us in your prayers. Keep us at the top of your mind. Talk about us. Share our story. What I'm aiming to do is make sure that we are not forgotten. And so if you can just uplift our stories by sharing or talking to your coworkers, that goes a long way. And I'm also just wanted to say I'm so deeply grateful for my community for showing up with donations so that I could pivot from running a bookstore to opening a free marketplace for people who are in need. I just want to help my people.
So Funky Bunch, Shanta Rush says she sent me the list of Black families on IG. Let me see if she DM'd it to me, because if she DM'd it to me, then I will. Let me see. Sent the real. Let me see. Oh God, the way this thing is set up. Let me see. Is it general? Do me a favor, Shanta. Send it to Funky Dineva at funkydineva.com, and I will post the list immediately on my Instagram right now for you guys to give. That's Funky Dineva at funkydineva.com. And you guys, I put up Nikki's Venmo and her Zelle. Let's help our sister and her family with their Airbnb and their hotel stay and whatever else. And Nikki gives me that with whatever surplus she has, she's going to help the community. So let's just give, at least we can put a face to somebody who is in need. And Nikki, if you're open to it, and if it's not too much emotional trauma for you, I would like to at least have you on the show for the next couple of weeks to give us an update if you're open to it.
Absolutely. Anything I can do to share our story, I would love to. I appreciate all the love. It means so much. And yeah, I'll be back anytime you'll have me.
Nikki, thank you so much, and be blessed, sis.
Thank
You
you.
have a good evening. All
right.
Bye-bye. Oh my Lord, guys, we've got a lot, we've got to help. For somebody said, what's her Zelle? The Zelle is her email. And the Venmo is Octavia's Bookshelf. It's up. As Shanta is going to email me the list, and I'm going to post it up on my Instagram. But guys, that's it for tonight. That's all I got. Ain't got no more funky bunch. Let's do what it is that we do so well, and I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye.